Man, there's a lot of great energy in this room, but I think there's nothing that's going to compare to this next paradigm shift with virtual reality and immersion into these story worlds that you guys are creating. So it's very exciting to be here. It feels very historical to be here.
We've been capturing experiences that you live inside of. The profound thing about virtual reality is the immersion.
You get a sense of presence.
This age of you know, the millennials and below that have had so much agency in their connection to media and their connection to information, their connection to story. They want to be embodied, right? And so you're creating these embodied experiences.
They basically render a 4D light field, you know, in world space coordinates. The problem with that is, and it's amazing, and it's beautiful, and like, you know, if you have the, you know, however good you can make it offline, it'll look that good, and you'll have full 6 degrees of freedom and be able to move around. The problem is it's 3 gigabytes per frame. So it's not really usable outside of kind of like static scenes and environments. We bet big on humans, like human characters, right? So if you're talking about that level of photorealism, where you are doing the 4D, you know, holographic renders, you know, doing photorealistic humans in full CG is really, really, really hard. And the closer they get to you, the more exponentially, you know, more difficult it is to make them not feel robotic and androidish.
You can take, instead of having to get 150 people in a room, you can distribute it to 150 million people around the world.
There actually are ancient forms that have dealt with immersive experience. And actually looking back at those is where I'm finding the richest information, specifically Aboriginal corroboree, which is a narrative, dance, music, and navigational geography experience for clans in Australia. It's something that not a lot of people get to experience these days, but it was the most interactive media experience I've ever had. And because they were dealing in an immersive environment without any technology. In terms of, you know, cinema, Japanese cinema, such as the cinema of Oshima, he works in the context of a one-stroke dragon painting as that one stroke. I think that relates very directly to the idea of immersive cinema. So there are all these places that we can mine for thought around immersive cinema, or maybe it is something beyond cinema. Cinema may not be the right word, and that's where I'm finding my richest
Honestly, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. Everything that we're seeing at New Frontier, not everything, but there's a huge movement towards a return to ritual, a return to those types of experiences that were immersive, participatory, social, and quite frankly, gave you these out-of-body experiences or these disembodied, you know, kind of experiences. So I think you're hitting the nail on the head in terms of where we're going to be pulling our practice from.
A number of people start pushing away from him because they're just uncomfortable being that close to a musician on stage like that, and they start scooting back in their rotating chair and almost pull the computer off. What if VR just completely flips it on its head and it completely destroys the star system in Hollywood, and now you can't have anybody famous, you can't have anybody well known.
The world of Oculus.
Oh, that's pretty close. Let's go away. Look at this room.
Now the graphics are bad, but it feels like a real room, doesn't it?
I don't like this room.
I bet you will still get that falling sensation in the pit of your stomach.
Right,
I don't like
pull the
that.
cord.
Better
like
hold
that.
on.
Did you really get that falling?
Yeah. Oh, Phil, nothing's going to jump out, is it? Is that it?
Oh, shit!
Oh, God!
You also do that in virtual reality. Feel like sitting on a couch and just watching TV? Go right ahead.
I think I need to be tied down while I watch this.
Do you feel like
This is really...
you're really in a room looking at a TV?
Want to enjoy a video game?